Life is short. Let me ask you something. If I handed you a stopwatch right now, counting down the seconds you have left to live, would it change the way you spent today? It's a sobering thought, isn't it? Because the truth is, life is short, not just in the cliched sense, but in a painfully real way. We know this deep down, yet most of us live like we have all the time in the world. We procrastinate, hold grudges, and put off dreams for someday. But here's the catch: someday isn't on any calendar. Life doesn't come with a pause button, a rewind option, or even an instruction manual. It's fleeting, fragile, and unpredictable. But here's the beauty in that. The very brevity of life is what makes it precious. Today, we're going to dive into the idea of living with urgency, not out of fear, but out of purpose. We'll talk about what it really means to prioritize what matters, how to let go of the trivial, and how to make sure that when your stopwatch runs out, you'll have lived a life that truly mattered. Because if life is short, then every moment counts. Every choice matters. Every connection, every act of kindness, every bold leap, it all adds up. So let's stop waiting. Let's start living. Ready? Chapter 1: Time Perception and Psychology. Time is the one resource we can never earn back. Once it's gone forever. But here's the thing: we don't always treat it that way. Think back to your childhood. Do you remember how summers felt endless? A single day seemed to stretch on forever, brimming with possibilities. Now, as adults, years blur together. Birthdays come and go faster. Weeks seem to vanish in a blink. Why is that? The answer lies in how our brains perceive time. Our minds measure time by recording new experiences. When we're kids, everything is fresh. Every smell, every sound, every moment feels vivid and unique. But as we grow older, we slip into routines. The same morning coffee, the same commute, the same distractions. Days become a blur and life feels like it's rushing by. But here's the good news: we can change that. The solution is simple but powerful. Make your moments count. Break out of routines. Take a different route to work. Try a new hobby. Switch up your daily rituals. Embrace new challenges. Learn something that excites you, even if it scares you, especially if it scares you. Spend time with people who make you feel alive. Relationships with the right people don't just add years to your life, they add life to your years. When you fill your days with novelty and meaning, time slows down. Life becomes less about how long it is and more about how full it feels. Chapter 2: Priority Management. Have you ever paused to ask yourself, what really matters to me? Most of us don't. Instead, we get caught up in the business of life. We answer emails, chase deadlines, scroll endlessly through our phones. But business isn't the same as purpose. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine yourself at 90 years old, sitting in a cozy chair, looking back on your life. What will matter to you then? Will you remember the extra hours spent at the office or the time you laughed with loved ones? Will you regret the risks you didn't take, the words left unsaid, or the adventures postponed? The truth is, the choices you make today are shaping that memory right now. Here's what successful people understand: knowing what not to do is more valuable than knowing what to do. It's the two-list strategy. Write down everything you want to achieve. Circle the top 3 items. Everything else, that's your avoid list. Think about compound interest, but for life choices. Small daily investments in the right priorities multiply over time. But there's a catch: social media, busy work, and constant distractions steal your attention from what truly matters. The solution: ruthlessly eliminate the non-essential. Your time is too precious for anything else. Write down what matters most to you. It could be family, health, creativity, learning, or joy. Chapter 3: Relationship Dynamics. Relationships are like bank accounts. Every interaction we have with someone is either a deposit or a withdrawal. A kind word, deposit. Listening without distractions, deposit. Forgetting an anniversary or being constantly late, withdrawal. Here's the catch: just like with real banks, you can't make a withdrawal if you haven't made any deposits. We've all heard someone say, "I don't understand why they're upset. I only reach out when I need something." Well, there's the problem. Relationships aren't built on big gestures. Sure, an expensive gift or a grand celebration is nice, but what truly matters are the small, consistent acts. A quick text to check in. Remembering the little details, like their favorite coffee or a big event in their life. Being there when times are tough. Interestingly, research shows that shared suffering creates stronger bonds than shared pleasure. Navigating challenges together, whether it's a tough project at work or a personal crisis, brings people closer in ways that joyful moments alone can't. And don't underestimate the power of weak ties. These are your acquaintances, distant colleagues, or even that neighbor you chat with occasionally. While your close ties provide comfort, it's often your weak ties that introduce you to new ideas, opportunities, and perspectives. Here's a surprising takeaway. If you want to feel like you have more time, give some of it away. Helping others, whether it's a friend, a colleague, or a stranger, is a paradoxical way to expand your sense of time and purpose. Chapter 4: Career and Purpose. Now, let's talk about your career and purpose, a journey we're all navigating. Your best opportunities? They're just outside your comfort zone. This is what's called the adjacent possible, the sweet spot between what you already know and what you could know. Yet, so many of us think, I need to stay in my lane. But staying in your lane is exactly how careers get stuck. Here's one of the biggest mistakes people make early in their careers: optimizing for money too soon. If you're in your 20s or early 30s, focus on learning instead. Think of every new skill you gain as a lottery ticket for future opportunities. Money will follow knowledge, always. Forget about the career ladder. In today's world, careers are more like jungle gyms. You might move sideways, diagonally, or even backward at times. Each move builds a unique set of skills that makes you irreplaceable. But comfort can be dangerous. It's like career quicksand. The longer you stay in a role you've outgrown, the harder it is to leave. Here's a strategy to keep growing. Embrace productive procrastination. When you're avoiding one task, use that energy to dive into something new. Maybe it's a coding class, a creative project, or even learning a language. Funny enough, those procrastination projects often reveal your true passion. Chapter 5: Health and Vitality. Health isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about multiplying the quality of every moment you live. Your energy, focus, and happiness all rise or fall with your health. Think about it. Would you rather have 12 draining hours or 8 energized ones? Energy matters more than time. Yet, how often do we hear people say, I'll sleep when I'm dead? Let me tell you, that mindset is a shortcut to burnout. Sleep isn't just rest. It's your brain's cleaning crew, decision-making fuel, and memory booster all in one. Without it, your judgment suffers as if you've had too many drinks at happy hour. The career you're chasing, the relationships you're nurturing, and the goals you're striving for all depend on your brain firing on all cylinders. Here's a fun thought. You're two people, morning you and evening you. Morning you is ambitious, making plans and setting goals. But evening you, that's the one who has to actually follow through. So here's the trick. Don't let morning you overpromise. Set realistic goals, not ones designed to crush evening you. And let's talk movement. Forget the idea that fitness has to mean hour-long gym sessions. Instead, embrace micro-workouts. 10 push-ups before a meeting, a quick walk after lunch, or 5 minutes of stretching while you wait for your coffee. Your body was made to move, not sit for 8 hours straight. Here's the magic of movement. It doesn't just strengthen your body, it sharpens your mind. Stuck on a tough problem? Move. Clarity comes when your body is in motion. Chapter 6: Learning and Growth. Now, let's pivot to growth. The world is changing faster than ever, and the ability to learn is the ultimate superpower. Want to learn anything faster? Teach it to someone else. This is called the teacher effect. Teaching forces your brain to break concepts down, understand them, and then explain them clearly. But I'm not ready to teach, you might say. That's exactly why you should start. Your struggles make you a better teacher than an expert because you still remember what's confusing, what's hard, and where people get stuck. Here's another hack for growth. Read biographies. Think of them as shortcuts through life. Each biography gives you the wisdom, mistakes, and lessons of a lifetime in just a few hours. Why make avoidable mistakes when someone else already made them for you? But here's the thing. Don't try to be great at everything. Instead, embrace deliberate amateurism. Stay intentionally bad at a few things. It keeps your brain adaptable, your ego in check, and your creativity alive. What about obstacles? Most people see constraints, like limited time, money, or resources, as roadblocks, but they're actually superpowers. Constraints force you to innovate, prioritize, and focus. Some of the greatest ideas and creations came from people who had less, not more. And finally, here's the ultimate skill: knowing when to quit. Quitting isn't failure, it's strategy. Strategic quitting is about clearing space for opportunities that better serve your goals and passions. Quit fast on things that drain you or no longer align with your growth. Chapter 7: Emotional Intelligence. Did you know your emotions have a secret timer? The chemicals that fuel feelings like anger, frustration, or fear last exactly 90 seconds. After that, it's no longer your emotions controlling you. It's your choice to hold on to them. Now, I know what you're thinking. I can't help how I feel, and you're right at first. You can't control that initial emotional wave, but the second wave, that's all you. Emotional regulation is a skill, and once you master it, it becomes your superpower. Here's why this matters. Raw intelligence might get you the job, but emotional intelligence gets you the promotion. Why? Because people gravitate toward those who can stay calm under pressure. In moments of chaos, your calm becomes their anchor. But let's go deeper. Most of us hide our vulnerabilities, thinking they make us weak. Here's the twist. Vulnerability, shown strategically, builds trust. Think about it. Who do you trust more? Someone who admits their mistakes or someone who pretends to be perfect? Now, let's address a universal fear: difficult conversations. Avoiding them feels safe in the moment, but it's like emotional debt. It grows the longer you ignore it. That small problem you're sidestepping, it's quietly snowballing into a bigger one. And finally, let's talk gratitude. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good exercise. It's a secret weapon. But here's the catch. Unexpressed gratitude is like cash locked in a safe with no key. It doesn't do anything until you spend it. So say thank you, often, out loud. Chapter 8: Financial Wisdom. Now, on to money, one of the most misunderstood tools in life. True financial wisdom isn't about how much money you have. It's about what that money buys you. And the most precious thing it can buy: time. Here's the trap many fall into. As your income grows, so does your lifestyle. A bigger house, more maintenance, a fancy car, more worry, a better neighborhood, longer commutes. Before you know it, you're working harder just to sustain your upgraded life. Finally, I can afford everything I want, you might think, but that's the illusion. Lifestyle inflation is like running on a treadmill. You're moving fast, but going nowhere. Now, here's a shift in perspective. Think about time affluence. Would you rather make $100,000 working 80 hours a week or $70,000 working 30? Your true hourly rate includes every sacrifice, time, energy, relationships that you make for that paycheck. Here's a smarter way to think about spending. Rent objects and buy experiences. Why? Because experiences grow in value over time. They become memories, stories, and moments that shape who you are. Objects, they depreciate, gather dust, or break. And here's the ultimate financial skill: building margins. Living below your means isn't about deprivation, it's about freedom. Those financial margins are your buffer, your safety net, your launch pad that will let you say yes to opportunities and no to stress. Chapter 9: Creative Living. Have you ever waited for inspiration to strike? Maybe you've thought, I'll start when I have the perfect idea. Let me save you some time. That's a trap. Creativity isn't about waiting for inspiration. It's about showing up and turning on the faucet. When you first turn on a faucet that hasn't been used in a while, what happens? Rusty water comes out. Creativity works the same way. The rusty water represents your bad ideas. But here's the kicker. Those bad ideas aren't failures. They're necessary. They clear the way for the good ones. Let's bust another myth. Creativity doesn't thrive on endless freedom. It loves constraints. Think about it. Shakespeare wrote in strict meter and rhyme. Those rules didn't limit him. It forced his genius to shine. Want to supercharge your creativity? Set some boundaries. Here's a common mistake: trying to create and judge at the same time. That's like driving with one foot on the gas and the other on the brake. It doesn't work. First, let yourself create freely, without judgment. Then go back and refine. And don't forget to document your progress. Your brain is like a creativity muscle. It needs to see its growth. Those cringe-worthy first attempts, they're not embarrassing. They're proof you're evolving. Now, here's the real secret. Creativity is about connecting dots no one else is connecting. It's about finding the intersection of skills, ideas, and passions that only you can combine. That's your creative superpower. Chapter 10, Personal Energy. Now let's talk about energy, the true currency of life. We all focus on managing our time, but what good is time if you don't have the energy to use it? Here's a truth most people miss. Your energy is constantly being influenced by everything around you. Some activities refill your tank, a walk in the morning, laughter with a friend. Others, they drain you dry. Endless social media scrolling, toxic relationships. You might think, I just need more willpower. But willpower is like a muscle. It tires out. The smartest people don't rely on willpower. They design their environments to make good choices automatic. They clear clutter, simplify routines, and set themselves up for success. Let's talk about decision fatigue. Every choice, what to wear, what to eat, when to exercise uses up energy. That's why many successful people wear the same outfit daily or eat the same breakfast. It's not boring, it's strategic. They're saving their decision-making power for what truly matters. And here's a fun energy hack: strategic incompetence. Be deliberately bad at non-essential tasks. If you're terrible at fixing printers, guess what? People stop asking you to do it. Protect your energy for what you excel at. Finally, let's reframe recovery. Taking a break isn't laziness, it's an investment. Recovery multiplies the value of your time and energy. Whether it's a walk, a nap, or time spent doing nothing, it's not wasted. It's how you refuel to perform at your best. Chapter 11, The Power of Social Capital. Here's a little secret. Success is rarely a solo journey. It's not just about what you know, it's about who you know. But real social capital isn't about amassing business cards or chasing LinkedIn connections. It's about creating meaningful, authentic relationships. Let's simplify it. Time plus vulnerability plus shared experiences equals connection. You can't shortcut any of these elements. Real connections need all three. Think about your closest friendships. They didn't happen overnight. They grew through late-night conversations, shared victories, and even setbacks. You might say, I don't have time for networking. That's because you're seeing it wrong. Real networking isn't transactional, it's transformational. The best networkers, they don't collect people, they connect people. Here's a mindset shift. Stop waiting for big milestones to check in with friends. The strongest bonds are built in the small moments. A random thinking of you message, a quick coffee catch-up, or sending someone an article they'd enjoy. Imagine your community as a garden. You can't just plant seeds and forget about them. Every interaction is water. Every introduction is fertilizer. And here's the golden rule. Start building your community now, not when you need it. Because if you wait until you need help, it's already too late. Chapter 12, Mastering Mental Models. Your brain is like Google Maps. Mental models are the routes you use to navigate life. But here's the catch. The map is not the territory. Mental models simplify the world, and while they're helpful, they don't capture every detail. Most people live reactively. They play checkers while life is playing chess. But the real game changer? Second-order thinking. Ask yourself, not just what happens next, but what happens after that. It's the difference between short-term fixes and long-term success. Let's take an example. Imagine you're offered a high-paying job with a horrible boss. First-order thinking says, this will help me save more money. Second-order thinking says, will I burn out and end up quitting in 6 months? Here's a fun truth. Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Understanding is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. Smart people don't just collect facts, they collect patterns. They ask themselves, how might I be part of the problem? This is inverse thinking. Sometimes, solving a problem isn't about doing more. It's about stopping what's causing the issue in the first place. The lesson? Build your mental toolkit. Life isn't a straight line. It's a chessboard. Chapter 13, Designing a Life That Works for You. Here's the truth. Your life isn't a movie where you're the spectator. You're the director, the writer, and the main actor. It's time to stop letting life happen to you and start designing it. Think of your life as a portfolio. It's not just about money. It's about experiences, relationships, skills, and dreams. Each one is an investment that pays dividends over time. But here's where people go wrong. They overvalue planning and undervalue testing. They think, I need a perfect plan before I take action. Wrong. You can't think your way into a better life. You have to experiment. Start small. Want to exercise more? Begin with a 5-minute walk. Want to be more creative? Sketch for 2 minutes a day. These tiny tweaks snowball into big transformations. And let's talk about metrics. Most people measure their lives by society's standards. How much money they make, what car they drive, how big their house is. But what if you rewrote the rules? What if your success metric was hours spent laughing with family? Or new skills learned this year? Or number of times I helped someone else? Finally, don't skip the most crucial step, life reviews. Think of them as personal audits. Every month, ask yourself, what went well? What needs adjusting? Catch the small cracks before they turn into gaping holes. As we reach the end of our time together, I want to leave you with this thought. Life is a collection of moments. It's not the grand achievements or the long-term goals that define it. It's the everyday choices, the risks we take, the connections we build, and the way we choose to spend our time. You see, the truth isn't that life is short. It's that life is happening right now. And what you do with the moments you have left will determine what kind of life you lead. So ask yourself, are you living with intention? Are you chasing what truly matters? Are you investing in the things, the people, and the experiences that will make your story worth telling? Because one day you'll look back and you'll either be filled with regret for the things you didn't do or gratitude for the life you created. We don't have forever, but we do have today. And today you have the power to make it count. So go ahead, stop waiting for someday. The clock is ticking.